heart and soul of the game is at the Boxing Voice. Ain't no other sight in the game could see the Boxing Voice.
Fight here in the Madison Square Garden was last July against Daniel Gil, which he had a very impressive third-round KO. It was nominated for KO of the Year in a lot of places where he got hit by Gil and then was able to knock him out in the same sequence. Since then, he sold out the StubHub Center in California, broke all the records, all the attendance records for boxing in Carson, California, and naturally just had the impressive win over Martin Murray in Monte Carlo, which was also televised on HBO. So we want to welcome everyone here. We're excited. Vladimir's fighting tonight at the Garden, and we wanted to bring Gennady in to meet with the New York press and to also talk about his upcoming fight May 16th at the Forum in Los Angeles, which will also be televised by HBO. I want to thank Joel Fisher from Madison Square Garden Company for being here. They've been very supportive. The game plan was to bring Gennady here to New York, the media capital of the world, put him on the highest stage possible, and it's worked. I mean, he's performed every time we put him on a bigger stage. He's always performed, and that's where I think the key to his quick rise in popularity here in the United States has come. I also want to introduce where's Roshan? Where did she go?
Where's the fellow?
Okay. Oh, okay. The Consul General from New York is here also from Kazakhstan. So Gennady's pretty much become a folk hero in his country. Whenever he fights and they show his fight in Kazakhstan, pretty much the whole country shuts down to watch him fight. And we wanted to have Roshan say a few words as well. But we're excited for everyone to be here. We can open it up for different questions, but I'd like to actually have Joel say a few words on behalf of Madison Square Garden, what the relationship between MSG and Gennady has been. And for those who don't know, MSG purchased the Forum in Los Angeles, completely renovated it. You know, the Forum has such a historic long line of historic fights there. Bill Kaplan knows many of the fighters and the fights that have been there, and this will be the second fight since the first fight was Marquez Alvarado last year, and so Gennady will be the second fight at the Forum. So I want to say a few words, Joe.
Thanks, Tom. Well, we love our relationship with Gennady, with all the fighters that we work with. How many years ago was it? 5 years ago. Remember, Tom said, I got this fighter that really dreams about fighting in the Garden, wants to meet you. They came up to our office, my office, and we sat down, and Gennady has got a tremendous personality, but his goal was to be the best fighter in the world, and he wanted to make, just like Miguel Cotto had made Madison Square Garden his home, he wanted to make Madison Square Garden his home. We just loved his personality and the way he was, and we did a little research. Obviously, he had a tremendous amount of potential, and thank God it's worked out for him and us. We're thrilled to have him fight at the Garden. We're thrilled to have him fight at the Forum. Right, the Forum fight on the 16th will be a great night. And Tom will talk a little bit about it, but we're working on bringing him back here to New York sometime, hopefully in the fall. If we can find a date and figure out an opponent.
You get Miguel Cotto to fight, we'll be back here in Madison.
I would love to see that myself. So, no, we're thrilled about the relationship, and look forward for Gennady doing some great things at the Forum, at the Garden, and just in his career in general. We're also looking forward, as Tom said, tonight should be a great night, so looking forward to tonight too. Tom's been a great partner on tonight. Should be a really alive building, basically sold out, so it's going to be a great night.
Thank you, Joel. We definitely appreciate the support. I also want to introduce Roshan is here now. She's the Consul General for the consulate here in New York. She's been very supportive of Gennady and his career before he was really known here in New York. And she had a lot of the local Kazakh people and fans come to the Garden when he would fight. So maybe, Roshan, if you could say a few words of what Gennady means to the country of Kazakhstan and what his success here in America, represents when his fights are shown over there.
Thank you very much. And really, Tom, I'm really, proud to know Gennady from beginning. And even, for now, I cannot go to LA. I will watch, and I know in my country, in Kazakhstan, even here it's nighttime, and in Kazakhstan it's earlier morning. And you know, we have a saying, only one thing can wake up earlier in Kazakhstan. It's Gennady Golovkin. You know, because Kazakh people, they love to sleep. It's just like, usually it's Saturday, Sunday morning. And I'm so proud of Gennady and his brother, and I'm so proud to know his trainer, and Tom, he helps a lot. And all of his team, they're amazing. And thank to all of you to help Gennady, and I'm sure fight on next month will be the best one, and next one will be even better.
Rashan keeps asking when we're bringing Gennady back to New York. It's just a matter of getting the right opponent for Madison Square Garden. But we really appreciate all of her support, and you know, at the consulate, their support of Gennady. You know, with that being said, we can kind of open it up a little bit. Abel, if you want to say a few words on, you know, the fight coming up with Willie Monroe.
Yeah, we're extremely happy to be back here in New York. Thank you for the support. It's getting bigger and bigger. We appreciate that very much. We've been training now for about 4.5 weeks. And the sparring's part of the training camp, so May 16th should be another dramatic night. Gennady likes to put on a good show, so it's going to be another great night.
Tom, why Willie Monroe Jr.?
Why Willie Monroe? Because first of all, Miguel Cotto wouldn't accept the challenge. Gennady's actually is mandatory from the WBC. Part of the agreement was that Cotto would get one voluntary defense before he had to fight Gennady. That was meant to fight Canelo. That fight never happened. So then we were trying to put that fight together, but we never. The WBC will still give him one voluntary defense. It looks like now he's going to fight Daniel Gil, who Gennady fought last year here. So Willie Monroe made the most sense. You know, he fought on ESPN 4 times within the last 12 months. He won the Boxino tournament, and he's from here, from upstate New York. So he's known in the United States. And the funny thing is, and Oleg, Gennady's manager, can explain it also. You know, Gennady wanted to test himself. He hadn't fought a southpaw since his HBO debut against Proxer, you know, from Poland, and so he wanted to. You know, Willie has a very unconventional style. When I called Ardi Palulu, his promoter, he was surprised that I would call him and ask for a southpaw specifically. But that's what Gennady wanted, and you know, Abel was on board, and he wants to perfect his style against any different style.
Triple G, what do you know about Willie Monroe Jr.? What you know about your opponent?
He's a good fighter. I think he's difficult for me because he has good speed. You know, remember, everybody is good boxer has problem with southpaw. Canelo with some Cuba guy. Miguel Cotto has problems with trauma with southpaw. This new style for me, new situation. I think a little bit different. You know, I won't be in any style. This style just new step for me.
Gennady, do you ever get frustrated that some of these superstars won't take the fights against you?
No, just I think so. No, I understand my situation. I have great. I feel great. I know I have time. I'm a lot just time. I think next step is much better. No, right now just my focus on Willie Monroe, of course, 100%. After that, so I have a big step. I have 4 fights this year. Why not?
Do you ever picture yourself getting to a point maybe where you're so frustrated? Because I can't even picture you swearing. I can't even picture you angry, frankly. Do you ever ponder maybe it's going to get frustrated and call out one of these guys and say, come on, be a warrior, be a man and fight me?
This is my life. Why I'm not mad, I'm not angry, because this is my life. I like my life.
Gennady, do you have, what's your interest in this fight this coming week with Mayweather and Pacquiao? And could you see yourself possibly facing the winner of that fight at some point? Would you like to?
Biggest fight. Biggest fight. Biggest deal. Of course, anybody wants to fight. who is number one pound for pound. Yes, of course, this is my dream fight with Floyd or what me. And I understand I am 160. It's 147, maybe 140, 154 just for Floyd or for me. You know, it's a big deal.
Gennady, tonight your countryman Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight champ, he's fighting Brian Jennings. How do you see that fight taking place? And then where do you rank Klitschko among the all-time great heavyweights?
Oh, he did a very good fight for heavyweight. Vladimir, he's a great champion for him. Long time. He's bigger, he's stronger. Jennings is not good prospect. He's good fighter too, absolutely. He has chance. I think very interesting for everybody.
You were fighting a lot in Germany, right?
Yes, first time, yeah.
How do you feel the difference between Germany and here in the United States?
Big difference. The United States is made of boxing, you know. Germany is my first step, my debut. Doesn't matter, Germany or Kazakhstan or Russia. It's real boxing in the United States, just the United States.
Gennady, in what ways do you honor or respect what Vladimir Klitschko has done and how he's carried himself?
Absolutely, because you know, he's the guy, he's big champion. He's a very smart guy, and he's good team. He's big name for boxing, for heavyweight, not for everybody, just for heavyweight.
What kind of relationship do the two of you have?
No, just, you know, he's the champion, thank you for Tom. Tom work with K2, you know, I work with Tom.
How do you feel about having your family here now? Has that helped you, having your family in LA?
No. My family, my wife, she understands my business. This is my business, my GL, you know. I'm very happy because my family close with me, you know, just stay in California. My son, it's very important for us, for me, for my family. Going to school, it's very cool.
Are they happy here?
Absolutely, yes.
What are your guys' plans to take advantage from a marketing sense of how beloved Gennady is with the Triple G brand nickname and the catchphrases? What is the future for that? Whether it be T-shirts, whether it be that kind of stuff.
You know, it's funny you mention that because a lot of people think that somehow that's planned or pre-planned, but it really isn't. You know, when we had the promotion last year against Rubio, you know, I came up with that name only because Gennady in his interview with Max Kellerman said, you know, when Max said, you know, how you fight such aggressive style, and Gennady says, yeah, I fight the Mexican style. That's what Abel taught him. You know, and then that was just a natural fit. So when he comes up with these, you know, phrases in the interviews, it's just really just off the top of his head. It's not anything that's really planned, but the fans are so passionate, you know, and they just embrace those type of phrases. And even with Gennady's, you know, Gennady's English is getting better, certainly, but he still, you know, throws out very poignant phrases, just like with Curtis Stevens. When Curtis Stevens was saying all these things at the press conference, then he said, you know, are you serious? And then whatever, you know, those three words were much more important than whatever Curtis said. So, but, you know, I haven't really, you know, the demand for merchandise and just anything related to Gennady has really taken off, and you know, as his popularity not only here in America, but you know, really a big part of the game plan for Gennady, because as he alluded to, he doesn't care where he fights internationally. You know, we've made it clear a number of times he would go to England to fight the great champions over there, whether it's Andy Lee in Ireland, whether it's Carl Froch in the UK. You know, and so internationally, you know, his TV ratings off the Murray fight were some of the highest that have been on an international event, and so that's his plan is to, or our plan is to build his global brand.
Gennady, how long have you been living in Germany?
I think 7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
7 years. Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be because Germany is going a bit down in boxing that you who lived so long in Germany came back as a superstar from the States now fighting in Germany? One of those guys, Sturm, Abraham, Stieglitz. also a question to Tom. Would that be an interesting fight for you? I think the Germans love you to see your style, which is completely different to those in Germany.
No, I open for fight for anyone, for everybody. This big step back, like going to Germany for Sturm. I think it's better for Sturm coming to the United States. Because United States is boxing, this is number one, it's first class. Going to Germany, why Germany? Maybe better than Monaco or Kazakhstan, because I'm champion.
To answer the question, Hardman, he tried to get Storm to fight him for 2 years when he was a mandatory for the WBA title, and we couldn't work it out with the WBA. So, sure, if the opportunity presented itself, if one of the guys said that they would fight, it would be interesting. But right now, Gennady's star has risen above all of them. Storm, Stieglitz, Abraham. He's on all the pound-for-pound lists. He's considered one of the best boxers in the sport and one of the most marketable boxers in the sport. What you have to keep in mind, in perspective, is he headlined Madison Square Garden last year, and now he's going to the Forum, which is a big arena in Los Angeles. And it's really the only boxer, and he's not native of America. He's from Kazakhstan. So to sell out a big arena in New York and then go to the Forum in Los Angeles is a big accomplishment. And so, the first choice would be to have the big names fight him, but if we had to go somewhere like to the UK or if it made sense in Germany, certainly would entertain it, but I think he's above where those fighters are.
Gennady, did you have a chance to watch the Andy Lee and Peter Quillen fight?
Yeah, I saw the fight.
What you thought about it?
It's just a question. I never see it's just for me. It's fine. And they said it's WBO champions fight, excuse me guys, it's never new for me. Never seen it new for me, Andy, he won. It's good. Right hand, Peter too much weight, too much stages. Now it just, for me it's very boring. It's true.
Abel, what did you think of that fight with the Andy Lee and Quillen?
I think they're a step below Gennady, for sure. I thought that Andy took the fight to Peter. Peter just waited too much, and that's what Gennady and I talked about. It made it a boring fight. The two champions fighting and waiting for as long as they had, as long as Peter had, and doing what he did in the past with relinquishing his belt. We felt that Peter needed to make a statement, and Peter didn't. And he keeps calling Gennady out, but he keeps calling Gennady out. But when they fight like that, it's difficult for us to get excited about facing them. Andy would probably be the one that would be exciting for us because we'd be going to Ireland in front of all his fans there, so Gennady would get motivated for that. It's got to be at this level for Gennady. It's got to be something that motivates him to not necessarily to train because he trains hard, but for the fight, for it to be a spectacle, for it to be a dramatic situation. That's why it was a little bit boring and not exciting for us to sit there and watch that.
So, follow-up question then for you, Abel. Who would you say are the top challenges for Gennady at 160, if there is anybody?
I think that both Gen and I agree that Cotto is the biggest challenge for us because he wants the WBC belt. Andy, of course, the winner of the Endam and Lemieux fight, whichever guy wins, Lemieux's a heck of a fighter, and if he beats Endam, then we got a good challenge. For right now, I think the target for Tom and for our team is Cotto. Until he says no, until he relinquishes the belt and Gennady fights for the WBC belt, then we've gone to the next one. But that should be our next goal.
Any chance that...
Following up on that, you talked before about a dream match or an ideal match for Gennady with Chavez. Chavez just coming off of a bad loss, so now his career was kind of at a crossroads. Is there any other fighter, other than Cotto, obviously, that is like an ideal matchup, that big pay-per-view matchup that you see for Gennady for the future?
Well, for Gennady, let's just say his dream match is Mayweather. Mayweather gets through unscathed on the second, and he decides to move up. Gennady's willing to come down to 54 to meet him. For us now that Chavez got beat, I think Chavez is on the back burner for a couple fights maybe. I think Froch in England would be ideal for us. I think that he represents a lot of good things as far as what he's done in the past, and for Gennady, it's a good step.
And you guys would be willing to go over there and go all the way to 68?
I think if that's up to Oleg and Max and Tom, Gennady.
Good question. Big difference, for Kazakhstan, for Germany, the United States. I don't feel stressed. I'm very happy because my family is close one. Just I don't feel bracing. I'm very happy. Just very easy for me right now. I like United States. I like, of course, my Kazakhstan. I like my position right now. I feel real nice.
So I think we'll